second inadequate theory. What is the second inadequate theory? Second inadequate theory is a mid-tribulational rapture theory. Mid-tribulational, that is, rapture will take place. Remember, there are 7 years of tribulation. Rapture will take place in the middle of tribulation. That is after 3.5 years. So taking that verse from 70th week of Daniel, you have that 1 week, 7 years, right? So this theory says the first 3.5 years of Daniel's 70th week, church will endure. Church will endure the first 3.5 years of tribulation. No problem. It's not, maybe people say it's a piece of cake. I don't know, right? That's the way people think, right? It's easy to handle it. But that this period is not marked by the wrath that dominates the great and the terrible day of the Lord during the latter 3.5 years. The latter 3.5 years is known as the great tribulation, the great and terrible day of the Lord. That is the time of wrath. Time of wrath. And that takes place on the or the second half of the tribulation. And the second half of the tribulation, church will not go through. Church will be caught up, taken up before that. But, that is easy to say. But is there an argument behind it? Yes. There is an argument. Let's look at the argument, actually. The rapture occurs, they say, at this 7th trumpet of Revelation. 7th trumpet of Revelation. Let's look at Revelation chapter 11, verse 15. Revelation 11, 15. We are looking at the theological reasoning behind this mid-tribulation. Revelation chapter 11, verse 15.
The 7th angel sounded his trumpet, and there were loud voices in heaven which said, "The kingdom of the world has become the kingdom of our Lord and his Messiah, and he will reign forever and ever."
Yeah, so right there, when the 7th angel sounded the trumpet. So remember, there are 3 series of judgment in the book of Revelation. What are the series of tribulational judgment? What are the series of judgment? Number 1, the judgment of seals. Number 2, the judgment of trumpet. Number 3, judgment of balls. Balls, right? And then there is interlude in between these judgments. We looked at that already in the book of Revelation. So the trumpet judgment comes second. And so there are 7 trumpets. And this is the last trumpet, that is the 7th trumpet. So the 7th trumpet right here sounded, and there is a voice in heaven saying, "Kingdom of the world has become the kingdom of our Lord Jesus Christ." This is what we read. So you have the last trumpet here, right? Remember, okay, let me say again, if you did not catch up with me. Book of Revelation talks about 3 series of judgment. Seal judgment, trumpet judgment, and what? Ball judgment, right? If you have read, you will know. And all these judgment has got 7. 7 seals, 7 trumpet, 7 balls. Okay? So you have the trumpet judgment comes in the middle. And so the 7th trumpet is going to be the 7th, that is the last trumpet actually, because in the trumpet category, the 7th trumpet is the last one. Then after that, you know that if you read the Bible, you will see then ball judgment begin. So in the trumpet judgment, the last judgment is what we read in verse 15. What they do now, they compare this verse to 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and Thessalonians chapter 4. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 15. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 52. Here is the, what is that, what they do, comparison. In that comparison, 15, verse 50, you're right, 52.
In a flash, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, for the trumpet will sound, the dead will be raised imperishable, and we will be changed.
All right. Did you see the last trumpet? Yes. All right. In the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, for the trumpet will sound, dead will raise. So what they do, the trumpet judgment in the book of Revelation that takes place in the middle of tribulation period. And of course, that there are 7 trumpets, and taking the last trumpet and comparing this to 15 and say, it is during this trumpet, this is the last trumpet, the dead will be raised, everything. So, and even if you know, First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16, also if you read, yes, for the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of God. There also you see the word a trumpet. So what they do, they compare the trumpet judgment in the book of Revelation to the last trumpet in the 1 Corinthians 15 and 1 Thessalonians 4, and say that tells, comparing 1 Corinthians 15 to Revelation 11, teaches that rapture should take place in the middle of tribulation period, because the trumpet judgment in the book of Revelation is in the middle, right? You have seal judgment, trumpet judgment, bowl judgment. So trumpet is in the middle, and of course, if you look at the timeline, you see it's about in the middle of the tribulation, and therefore definitely rapture should take place in the middle of the tribulation. This is the argument. All right. I hope you understood mid-tribulational argument, right? Comparing the last trumpet among 7 trumpets in the book of Revelation to 1 Corinthians 15, 52, where we read that when the last trumpet sound, that will rise. What is the problem? The problem include the last trumpet of 1 Corinthians 15 is probably better understood as the last times trumpet, not the chronologically last trumpet. All right? Not chronological last trumpet. It is the last time trumpet. Besides, a chronologically later trumpet, that is in Matthew 24:31, actually closes the tribulation. So to make the revelation for Revelation 11:15 as the last trumpet, it seems arbitrary. What is that? Matthew 24:31. If you are talking about the chronological last trumpet, then maybe we have an answer here. Let's look at Matthew 24:31. Yes, where we read, and he will send forth his angel. That's the end of the tribulation period. He will send forth his angel with a great trumpet, and they will gather together his elect from 4 winds and from one end of the sky to the other. So there is that great trumpet, is the gathering time of all people, right? All people. during end of the tribulation, if you really look at that trump, if you look at that verse, because verse 29, you see the glorious return of Christ, right? Because it says, but immediately after the tribulation, 29 says, and then there will be a greater trumpet. So the great trumpet that you read there is the end of the tribulation. So saying that the trumpet in the Revelation is the last trumpet, and that which takes place in the middle of tribulation doesn't make sense, because there is clear that there is a trumpet at the end of the tribulation too, in Matthew 24.
Okay.
So I don't think there is any way it is right. So saying that Revelation 11:15 is the last trumpet is an arbitrary statement. I don't think it is logical. The first, yes, the first to have the tribulation is also, I wanted to say, a time of incredible wrath. I don't think it is a piece of cake. I mean, 1/3 of the population is going to die. Over half of the population, actually. Yes, half of the population is going to die within the first part of the tribulation. So how can you say that it is a piece of cake? No. Third problem is it denies, this is the big thing, imminency of the rapture. By the way, what does the word imminency means? Anyone? Can anyone say what is imminency means? Imminency. Anyone? Anybody knows the word meaning? Imminency?
It cannot be like thwarted. It will happen.
Okay, it will happen.
Yeah, it is important. I mean,
it will happen.
It will happen. So it's evident. For sure. It's for sure it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's for sure. But if you look at the dictionary, you will see imminency means it can happen at any time. Maybe the simple understanding is at any time. Imminent, right? At any time. That means you cannot predict. It is so sure, as you said, but it cannot predict when it will happen. But if you know that the tribulation, if it is a mid-tribulation, then you can predict it. Right? We should be able to time it precisely. That means it simply denies. So if you believe in the mid-tribulation rapture, you're denying the imminency of rapture. That rapture will take place at any time cannot be said, because yes, you know, right, here are the signs, here are things that are going on. Almost half of the population is died. Suddenly, within 3 years, half of the population is dead, gone. You can predict it. So that's a problem. Second, another problem with the mid-tribulation view is that the two witnesses in Revelation 11, remember two witnesses who are maybe who are coming here with the spirit of Elijah and Moses. Two witnesses are clearly connected with temporal life and should not be confused with the church saints. They are not church saints. Mid-tribulational people, group believe that they represent church, and no, they don't. They are connected with the temporal life. Antichrist coming to the temple to make covenant. They are there to preach against the Antichrist. The next one, problem with this theory, the alternative theories, which places the rapture between fifth and sixth seal in response to the cries of martyrs, right? Rapture between fifth and sixth seal. There are some other theories with this mid-tribulation who believe that rapture can be in between fifth and sixth seal, or with the redemption of one like 44,000 people from the earth somewhere in 14:3. Those, even they have the same problem. This is interesting. There are people who believe that only 1,44,000 people will be raptured. You know that some cultists believe they will be raptured. Others will be here. You go to Jehovah's Witnesses, church, and they will teach you that. Only 1,44,000 can partake in the Lord's table, but nobody knows who are these 1,44,000. Right? That's what they would say. It's bizarre, right? So I don't think there is any proper logical theological explanation that we can accept from that group, Mid-Tribulation. Coming to